Picture this. You're standing on your lawn in late October. You look up and there's this dark, soggy line of leaves sitting just proud of your eavestrough. And instead of water coming nicely at the downspout like it's supposed to, it's just pouring right over the front lip in absolute sheets. We've all been there, right? Eavestrough cleaning is literally the one job practically every Ontario homeowner puts off, and then we rush to do it on exactly the wrong weekend. Well, in this explainer, we are going to dismantle the common myths surrounding eavestrough maintenance, break down the actual math of the job, and show you exactly what is happening right above your head.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're covering the October overflow, what actually fills your eavestroughs, the twice-a-year rule, ladder safety and arithmetic, and finally, exactly when you need to swallow your pride and call a pro.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the October overflow. We're looking at exactly why autumn rain breaks your gutters.
Now you might be wondering, why is October specifically the absolute worst month to have a blocked trough? I mean, we all kind of assume gutters fail just because of a single massive autumn downpour, right? Actually, the real answer lies in this number, 13.2. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada, Toronto's Buttonville Airport averages 13.2 days of rain in October. Believe it or not, that is more days of rain than literally any other month of the year. Now, October isn't the wettest month by total volume. That's June, but October rains more often in these annoying smaller amounts. A huge summer downpour will just overtop a clogged trough and then it's gone. But 13 wet days? That keeps a plug of leaves constantly saturated, heavy, and sitting exactly where it landed, right when your trees are shedding. To put all this into perspective, an average 1,500 square foot roof in this region sheds roughly 101,000 liters of water every single year. That's a massive amount of water. So when your downspout is blocked by heavy, wet October leaves, that water doesn't just politely trickle over the front edge. It backs up behind the trough, runs down the face of your fascia, and literally soaks into your home's wood. This rots the very system your gutters hang from. And worse, come January, all that standing water sets the stage for some incredibly expensive winter ice damming.
Moving on to Section 2, what actually fills your eavestroughs? Spoiler alert, it is not just autumn leaves.
You know, your specific drainage threats are entirely dictated by the trees on your street. It's like a highly localized fingerprint. A Toronto tree canopy study looked at over 600,000 street trees, and Norway maples make up a whopping 13.5%. Add in silver maples, and you've got this heavy burst of wind seeds or keys dropping in late spring. Then you have honey locusts at 6.2%. They drop thousands of these tiny leaflets that completely bypass coarse gutter screens. And don't forget evergreens, like the blue spruce at nearly 4%, shedding needles steadily all year long. Your street's exact canopy mix is what determines your system's blockages.
So what you pull out of your gutters actually tells a very specific story about your home's health. Maples, they tell you one cleaning a year just isn't going to cut it, because they hit you in May and October. Locust leaflets, they prove that those cheap, coarse screens are practically useless. But take a look at that bottom row. Gray grit. Homeowners panic all the time when they scoop out this gray sludge, thinking their whole roof is failing. But honestly, an ICO bulletin confirms a cup of grit is totally normal on a newer roof. It's just loose hitchhiker granules washing off. You really only need to worry if the roof is about 20 years old and you can literally see dark, bare asphalt patches from your driveway.
Let's dive into Section 3, the twice-a-year rule. Why a Thanksgiving clean is actually 2 months early.
Okay, we need to address the classic scheduling mistake almost everyone makes, doing one single rushed gutter clean on Thanksgiving weekend. Why is Thanksgiving way too early? Well, just ask the municipality. They literally have to pay for the answer. Richmond Hill's yard waste collection runs every second week all summer, but then it kicks into high gear, switching to weekly from October 13th all the way through to December 11th. Trust me, municipalities do not buy 8 extra weekly pickups just for the fun of it. That is a hard financial metric proving that leaves keep falling well into December. If you do your big clean in early October, the entire back half of the autumn leaf drop is landing right in your freshly cleaned trough.
So, what's the actual golden schedule? You really just need 2 main cleans. First, late May or June to get those maple keys out before the big summer storms roll in. That spring load is almost always what blocks your downspout. Then, your second clean should be way later, in late November when the leaves are finally down for good. And hey, if you have a spruce or pine hanging over your roof, you're going to have to sneak in a third check-in around early September, since those guys shed year-round.
That brings us to Section 4, ladder safety and arithmetic. This is the crucial geometry most homeowners completely ignore.
Doing this chore right isn't just about elbow grease, it's about execution. First up, technique. Do not, and I mean do not, just drag a hose up there and flush the trough right away. Why? Because hosing a loaded trough forces a massive slurry of wet, mushy leaves straight into your downspout outlet. Once that dries, you've essentially created a severe, concrete-like plug that is an absolute nightmare to get out. The right way? Scoop that debris into a bucket hooked to your ladder first so you leave the downspout totally clear.
Let's walk through the physical sequence step by step. Step 1, scoop the debris into your bucket in short, manageable sections. Step 2, clear that downspout outlet completely by hand so any plug just drops away. Step 3, now you can take your hose to the far end of the trough and flush it. Watch the water travel to make sure there are no hidden sags or blockages. And step 4, this one is an absolute must. While you're up there, check the roof edge. Think of it as a free diagnostic check. Look for lifted drip edges, curling shingles, or soft fascia. You can spot issues from 3 feet away that are totally invisible from down on the lawn.
Now for the scary math. This chore comes down to the pure arithmetic of safety. The Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety mandates a strict 4-to-1 ratio for ladders. For every 4 feet you go up, the base of the ladder has to be 1 foot out. Plus, you can never, ever work from the top 3 rungs. So look at the 2-story house example. To safely reach an 18-foot eave, your ladder's feet have to be 4.5 feet out from the wall. Factor in those unusable top rungs, and you need almost 22 feet of ladder rail. Planting a massive 22-foot ladder perfectly on what is usually a sloped, soaking wet October lawn, yeah, that is dangerous. Which brings us perfectly to our final section. Section 5. When to call a pro. Let's look at the 3 big stop signs. Hitting any of these 3 stop signs isn't about you losing your nerve. It's a clear indicator that the system itself is structurally compromised. Stop sign 1. The eaves is higher than 12 feet, where that ladder math we just talked about gets really extreme. Stop sign 2. The trough still holds standing water even after you've totally cleared it out. That means the trough is sagging or pitched completely backward, and frankly, cleaning won't fix gravity. Stop sign 3. The roof edge, like the fascia or drip edge, gives or moves when you press it with your thumb. That tells you water has been sitting against the timber long enough to rot it, and the next rain is going right into your roof, not over it.
So the bottom line is this. A gutter that needs a clean every 8 weeks doesn't just have a leaf problem. It has a structural fault. It might have too little fall, completely stopping the flow. It might have too few downspout outlets for the size of your roof. Maybe a hanger spike failed, creating a massive dip. Debris could be catching on the sealed seams of older sectional joints. Or you might just have a cheap leaf guard that doesn't match the trees above it, like using a coarse screen under a spruce tree. If you're up there cleaning constantly, you actually need to fix the system, not just scoop it out again.
And let's be real, if you keep paying for cleanings, it adds up incredibly fast. We're looking at the 2026 Ontario market rate for a standalone gutter clean right here, roughly $150 to $250 for a bungalow, all the way up to $450 for a 2-story walkout. Paying that bill twice a year for a decade is just terrible financial math. That is exactly why reputable exterior companies often won't even sell you a standalone clean for a chronically clogged gutter. Investing that cash into a permanent fix, like resizing your downspouts, installing custom seamless troughs with no joints, or putting in proper guards matched to your specific local trees, takes that frustrating annual bill right off the table.
So, the next time you see water spilling over the edge of your roof during a miserable, rainy October week, I want you to look closely. Ask yourself, does your eaves trough actually just need a routine cleaning, or is it secretly begging for a repair? Stay dry out there and go inspect your home's drainage system with this brand new perspective.